Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Morning and welcome to Ray's Breakfast. Hashtag what are you saying? It's Friday and the beginning of a new month. The weekend is of course just around the corner, and I can feel the energy in the air already. My name is Aguocha-Ikenna, and with me are the fabulous ladies, as always, ready to kickstart your day with great conversation and insights. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh my God, what's that word? There's this particular English word I had in my head coming to the show, but it has already, exactly.
So you would have written it down.
Okay, thank you for that tip. But I'm very excited. It's the new month. Apart from the new month,
Happy
it's
new
the 11th month of 12 months in 2024.
Hallelujah.
Do you know what my God can do in November?
Do you understand?
You are not ready for
You know what God has already done. That's just waiting for
Exactly.
manifestation.
But it's also, 2024 started in January. I can remember crossover service, New Year service, everything. Everybody had resolution. We were ready for 2024 to take over the world.
Some with
And
unrealistic
now
revolution.
it's and now 2024 is about to wrap up, and I'm just grateful to God for many things. And I'm happy that we're here, we're alive. We've seen the worst, we've seen good, we've seen bad, we've heard
seen the
of
ugly.
different things that's happened in our nation, but we're here today. So how do you feel? Let us reflect. It's 1st of November, 2024. What's up? What's been happening in your life from January?
First, I would say is everything that has a beginning must definitely have a end. I think that's what I would just say.
How about you guys, Beauty?
It's been beautiful. I feel like there are just a lot of things to be grateful for.
Very.
I mean, looking at last year, there are just a lot of things, right, going on. I remember entering this year with a whole lot of God, I beg. But right now, there are a lot of God, thank you. To get one
That's so
thing.
inspirational.
Oh,
I'm glad
yeah.
to hear
Let me
that.
also join the appreciative mode.
Please do.
Yeah, a lot of good things has happened. Yeah, a lot of God I beg has happened. But I realized that each God I beg, the comeback is always awesome, very big, worth it. So, yeah, I'm so grateful to God, so grateful to everybody, everything around me, forces.
This
everything.
this
It's
period
been
of
really
the
good.
year is a time to reflect a lot on everything that's happening around us. It's time to be grateful for the things that have happened, and also to appreciate the people that we have around us, family and friends. This is time to bond more. If you know that from January you've not been doing well on that area, you can still make amends. I put a post on my Instagram, I think some weeks ago, and I mentioned that we're in that time of the year where people are very dismissive, in the sense that they just wrap things up and let's wait to 2025. They feel like there's nothing else that can happen in November and December.
Yeah.
So I put up a post and I told my followers and said, at this time, I know it's just 2 months to go, but don't feel like, let me wait till 2025 for one
Things can
epiphany,
still happen.
one big thing to happen. In this 2 months, that's about 60 days, you can still meet your goals. A miracle can still happen.
I
That
agree.
big contract you're waiting for, it's going to be signed.
gonna come.
Do you understand?
Amen.
That's, focus that you want, those goals that you wanted to, have mastered or something can still happen. So in 2 months, a whole lot can happen. This is how we say, welcome to the month of November. Next week is going to be full of party and appreciation.
Hallelujah.
All right, if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please go to our official Upgrade TV. Subscribe. Please, this is a new month. Don't let us be pursuing you up and down.
I mean-
subscribe, be part of this family. turn on your notifications, drop a comment for us every time, and we would be more than glad to respond to every one of them. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look to the headlines across the Nigerian newspaper and beyond. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Imagine the world where the voices of the youth finally get the spotlight they deserve.
Welcome to Ways Breakfast, the groundbreaking show where young minds unite together to tackle issues that truly matter.
We're flipping the script on traditional morning talk shows, and this is your chance to hear the youth speak out.
We're not just skimming headlines, we're diving deep into the heart of topics that impact us all.
From politics to governance, tech innovations, mental health, and trendy social issues.
We don't just discuss, we ignite conversations that inspire change and spark action.
Join us every morning for fresh, young, and vibrant perspectives
that empowers the next generation to make a difference.
Start your day right with Ways Breakfast, because when the youth speak, the world listens. Ways Breakfast, weekdays at 8 a.m. live on Upgrade TV. Welcome back from that break. Of course, it's still Ways Breakfast. Before we dive into our main topic today, we're discussing career growth in a digital world. However, let's take a quick look at the headlines making waves this morning. We have updates from The Punch, The Guardian, and The New York Times. I'll be starting with The Punch. The major headline reads, Tax Review. Presidency mounts defense as 36 governors reject proposal. NEC asks President to withdraw bills from NASS. Tinubu panel says bill not against governors. Federal government striking varsity workers, talks end in a deadlock. Flooding. NEC plans new dams for southeast and south-south. Crashed helicopter wreckage found. 3 passengers remain missing. Spain flood death rise to 150, hundreds displaced. Zenith Bank doubles profits to 1 trillion naira. On updates for the Ondo governorship poll, INEC records 72% PVC collection. APC, PDP defer over Ayedatiwa's scorecard. Federal government offers 9-month window for free forex deposits. 12 federal government MDA salaries to be delayed. Ipman can't lift petrol without NNPCL approval, says Dangote Refinery. And that's what we have for The Punch. Quite some interesting details. Before I go to the one that actually caught my interest, let me just take a sneak peek on this Ondo governorship poll. I feel like it's very encouraging to hear that they have recorded 72% of PVC collection. And we know that many times one of the problems we have with electoral processes in Nigeria, and even citizens that ought to exercise their franchises, that people will just clamor. We want this to be the governor, we want this to be the president, but you do not even go to exercise your right. Or even when you register for these PVCs, you don't collect it. But 72% is very good pass mark. And it shows that the majority of people are becoming much more aware and very involved with this. So, you know, honestly, the way different gubernatorial elections have happened this year, I'm very positive on how the 2027 election is going to be. Do you understand? Yes, for presidential, exactly. Because from the state level, we see a lot of involvement. Do you understand what I'm saying? From that Edo
elections.
governorship and now the Ondo governorship, there's lots of fuss.
different local governments elections.
Yes, and people are more involved. So I feel like if you can get it from that point, from those areas, the local government elections, the state elections, when it comes to the presidential, that's
won't be
the
a
big
problem.
one. We can see more people involved and we get the desired outcome. And then on the story for the tax review, I didn't quite understand the story, so I had to look through it and I found some details. It says, before now, the president and his people, they had come up with some plans for taxes. And the first one was to make taxing simpler. So many businesses and people get confused by all the different taxes that they have to pay. So the new rule will combine some of these taxes
Together.
to reduce the amount of paperwork and stress. And the goal is to make it easier for people to understand what they owe and to attract more businesses to Nigeria. So that was the plan that they had. But now the Punch is letting us know that 36 states are against that. That is, I mean,
Almost
everybody.
yeah.
I'm wondering why. So I looked through the details I found on the Punch. It says 36 state governors of the Federation have unilaterally demanded the immediate withdrawal of the National Tax Reform Bill, delivering a significant strategic blow to the comprehensive efforts undertaken by Taiwo Oyedele. That's the person that led the whole fiscal policy stuff. So the governors, speaking during the National Economic Council, Nigeria's highest economic advisory body, meeting on Thursday, asked President to withdraw the forms for more comprehensive consultation. And Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde announced this as part of resolutions reached at the Council's 144th meeting. Makinde told journalists that Council members agreed that it was necessary to allow for consensus building and understanding of the bills among Nigeria. And a whole lot. You can get more details on the Punch website, but I think that the reason why, the 36 powers of the different states in Nigeria came together to not agree to this, probably because they did not understand it as much, and they're trying to put themselves in the shoes of the average Nigerians that probably don't understand this well, and probably they feel like it's too quick to execute such bill that you just passed. So it's a bit, I think it's more of a patience thing though, but if you check through the story, you could see more loopholes that we're not looking at.
What do you think, though?
I mean, it depends, right? The only reason why the whole state governors will be against such policies, probably if it's against what is already on ground. Probably, if you put all these taxes together and say that one person has to pay it, what if the percentage has increased a bit? Because someone asked, our own eyes now, we are seeing it that, they brought in company income tax, brought in personal income tax, and whatever other tax that is involved,
but
right?
it's to help
and probably
the
they
better
bring it together.
organization in managing these taxes. That is the
no,
reason why
I
they
understand
want it to
it,
be
but what if bringing those things together, the percentage increases? Because of course the percentage will increase. So think of it this way: if it's on a separate level, the way it is already, probably the percentage is something they can work on. But bringing it together, what if it's something that they can't work on?
Okay,
Do you get what
my
I'm
comment
saying?
would be on Ondo State, the Sunshine State, which is where I hail from.
I know, definitely.
Over the years, I've witnessed our elections, and if there's one problem we had is people coming out to vote during elections. My people in Ondo should have issues with coming out to vote during election because every time we come out to vote, our votes are probably not counted, or maybe we end up, and the person that we did not vote for end up being the governor. And then we also have a problem of vote buying. During the last election, Akeredolu election, there was huge vote buying to the extent that people were making videos of how much they sold their vote. They even played some people that they sold their vote and they didn't get the money. And they came to radio stations saying, okay, we sold our vote to this certain party, but we didn't get the money. But this time, I remember like a couple weeks ago, I held a webinar in Ondo State where they are ensuring that the youth participate more in Ondo election this time. Yes, we do not have much youth anymore in that place, but the remaining youth we have there, because when it comes to celebrating our festivals or any of our annual this thing, our youth coming from far and wide. Wow. The last time we had a festival in my place, the number of people in the youth, people were literally asking questions that, are people like this staying? Because it was like times 10 of the normal resident of the place. So we try to canvass for people to come from their different states. If you have a PVC, please come. The same way you came for that festival, the way you came for our Ikimogun festival, come to town and pass your and exercise your franchise. And to those staying there fully, the university students, we have 2 universities in Ondo State. We have Adeyemi Federal College of Federal University of Education. We also have University of Medical Sciences. I can imagine the number of students in each school. they might not all hail from Ondo State, but the people there that are residents and indigenous of Ondo State should all come out to vote that day, which is what I'm saying, that if we want our Ondo 2024 election Guba Post to be a success, it takes you and I, your mom, your dad, and you yourself above 18 to make it a great success. So moving straight to the Guardian newspaper, the major headline reads, "From third world to superpower, how to lift millions from poverty to prosperity via local initiatives." And on the side, prescription appeal court reserves judgment on IPOB's appeal. Under it, FX crisis, federal government gives Nigerians 9 months to deposit dollars in banks. Our relationship must be win-win, Tinubu tells France, China, and Denmark. Right beside it, Rivers NLC threatens shutdown as Wabara. PDP coalition warned as crises escalate. Tax reform bill NAS adjourns plenary abruptly as NEC advises immediate withdrawal. EFCC recovers 248 billion naira, $105 million in 1 year. And the last story says, okay, we have a couple more stories. Another one says, how we improved land administration at Edo Obaseki. And the last story says, government media are partners in nation building, says Information Minister.
All right, moving on to the New York Times, that's international. Let's leave the African area, otherwise it's space. All right, so by the right side of the newspaper, we have Biden misstep, delivered grit to Harris' fault. Trump goes on attack as she stresses unity. Next to that, Musk expanding SpaceX into role for the military. I really can't wait to see what that is about, to be honest, because, I mean, there's already, liberty when it comes to the X space and all, so having to involve this whole military, whatever, will be all right. But the left side of the newspaper, dozens killed as Israeli hit northern Gaza. Next to that, Russia installs regime of fear in seized area. Bottom of the newspaper, one final barrier in a distinctly American rise. Then the last headline on the newspaper, which is next to that, says a rocker on the rise and China keeps his roots in the ground. So if you find any of the headline fascinating, please do well to check their website. And that's all I have for you for the New York Times.
All right, thank you very much, ladies, for taking us through the different stories from the headlines across Nigerian newspaper and New York Times. Of course, this is where we wrap up the headline stories, take a short break, and return with the hot topic for today. Today is Friday, so you know by now Friday is very expository as we, cut across tech, finance, and today has a special touch of career. So if you're a career enthusiast or you're looking to scale up and just be better generally, this is one segment you shouldn't miss. So take a short break now. When we return, we'll look through the hot topic for today. Stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Life is made up of moments, some that lift us, others that break us. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we explore the beauty, the heartbreaks, and the incredible strength that every relationship brings into our lives. Friendship, marriages, partnerships, and everything in between.
Yes, say yes!
All the connections that shapes who we are today. Every week, we dive into the stories that define us. Stories of love, loss, heartbreaks, and healing. Real life stories from real people, just like you and I. Heartlines, is where emotions meet understanding and where we learn that we're never truly alone. Join me Mondays through Fridays at 9:30 p.m. for Heartlines, where we'll connect with every heart, one story at a time.
Welcome back to Ray's Breakfast. Now, as we get closer to the weekend, let's dive into something that's going to shape the future, and that's career growth in a digital world, which is extremely pivotal for anyone navigating their professional journey in the 21st century. Career growth in a digital world. The digital landscape has transformed the way we work, communicate, and develop our careers, opening up a wealth of opportunities while also presenting unique challenges. With rapid advancement in technology and the increasing reliance on digital tools, understanding how to leverage these resources is essential for career advancement. In this digital era, professionals must adapt to the evolving demands of the job market, honing their skills in areas like digital communication, remote collaboration, and continuous learning. So whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out your career, the digital world offers innovative paths to growth and development. Today, we'll explore how to harness the power of technology, identifying emerging trends, and navigate the complexities of building a successful career in an ever-changing environment. To help us unpack this crucial subject, we are joined by a distinguished expert who has extensive experience in career development and the impact of technology on professional growth. Chidiogo Aguocha-Ikenna is a certified HR professional with experience spanning over a decade across various industries like e-commerce, telecommunications, FMCG, manufacturing, and retail. Her passion for excellence and execution has helped her implement successful HR policies and strategies to achieve business growth and resources. She focuses on the 4 Ps: people, productivity, performance, and profits. She has expertise in HR department setups, organizational design, stakeholder management, recruitment, performance coaching, human capital management, human resources integration during mergers and acquisition, change management execution, team building and effectiveness, workforce planning, factory HR operations, and employee relations. So together, we'll discover practical strategies for thriving in this digital age and ensuring that your career not only survives, but flourishes. And this is why I take a deep breath, because this is what happens when you read the bio of an accomplished Madam Chidiogo.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. How are you
Thank
doing
you.
this morning?
Fine, thank
Firstly, I
you.
must commend your beauty. It's choking all of us. I mean, this new month, we're starting November with a very gorgeous woman in our midst. We're very
Thank
glad
you.
to have you here.
Same
How was
here.
your trip down here?
Fine. Rainy morning, bright morning. I so love the weather. This kind of weather that I want to sleep in, boy. We have to be here.
You have to be here. You know, just on a very light note, when I hear HR professionals or people who are, you know, in this helm of authorities in the organization telling you you've been queried, you're going to do this, I expect them to look very strict and wicked and with spongy human hair. But we have someone who looks quite, you know, reassuring in that sense. So today we're talking about career growth in the digital world. I want you to first start by explaining what's the digital transformation that has happened over the years, and more importantly, the key digital skills that are necessary for professionals, you know, to focus on in the ever competitive work landscape that we are in right now.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. So, when we talk about digital transformation that has happened in the course of HR, so you know HR started as personnel management, where you have the category you explained. But now HR has evolved over time because it's important for us to move with the trends and the way how the world evolved, HR has to move in line with that. So you started with HR just being hire, fire, administrative tasks, you know, filing, you know, keeping, you know, this archive of loads of files, you know, being the one that, you know, issue query. When employees see HR, they run to their seats. When HR appear, you know, you must be on your top behavior and all that. But HR has evolved, you know, to being to having a seat at the table, to being part of critical decision making, to be part of, even contributing to the overall bottom line of the business. So in terms of ensuring that we are cost effective in our recruitment, we are cost effective in our payments, we get the right talents, we pay our talents right. So HR has evolved a lot it has evolved, to a whole new level right now. HR is now a strategic business partner to the business, whichever industry the HR finds him or herself in. So when we talk about digital skills you need, to succeed in this current world, first of all, right, you should be able to have excellent data analysis skill because the world is going digital. There's AI now. You need to be able to know how to use AI. I see a lot of people say, oh, I'm scared of AI, trying to take my job and all that. But there's little that AI can do. AI is not human, right? And so long as you're dealing with human, you still need that human interface. So as long as you're able to know how to use AI for your job. Take, for example, myself, like ChatGPT, all the AIs, I use them excellently well because when I'm stuck right there, they just, prompts. That's why you need to learn how to do your prompting very well. I prompt my AI and it gives me what I want, well refined, right? And, and I make it to sound like my voice because I'm adapt. So AI cannot take my job because I know how to use AI for my own good. So it's when you don't know how to use AI, you become scared. And if you don't know how to use AI, in the nearest future, you won't have a job because you would see people that are, because now with the whole digital landscape, information is everywhere. It's free. It's available everywhere on our platform, YouTube. There are so many online platforms people can learn anything. So anything you want to learn, anything you want to become, there are free resources for you to even start with before you now start going for the paid, paid ones. So anybody can become anything. I've seen people trying to showcase. So I read Aguocha-Ikenna. Now I'm doing human resources. And I'm thinking of, what next can I do? What next can I do, right? And I'm trying to learn one or two things online that I can just add on to what I have, because you never know where life can push you to and what skill you need to move forward. So aside from having great data analysis skill, right, knowing how to use AI also is very important. Knowing how to communication also is a very good skill that people tend to overlook and tend to push to the corner, but it's a very, very key and important skill because if you don't know how to communicate, that's the beginning of your problem in whatever workplaces, in whatever workplace you find yourself in. So let's just stop right there.
Okay, so we're talking about career growth, and you as an HR professional, does career growth involve just the growth of the company or the growth of your talent? You mentioned something the other time that your talent, you ensure that they are well paid and all of that. Now, I also want you to relate it to the issue of personal branding. Each talent has to be well branded, has to have a good representation on the social media space. So what is the role of the HR professional, the human resource, in the lives of each talent and not just the company policies, company this and company that?
Okay. One thing I always tell everyone, your career growth is in your hands. Despite the fact, okay, I'm your HR, for example, I can, notice that you're an excellent talent, you're good at your job, I can advise you, I can guide you, I can coach you, I can mentor you, but I can only do to the extent you allow me to.
Okay.
So if you don't allow me to, I can't help you. So I say a lot of employees say, oh, I've been here 10 years, I've been here 5 years, I'm stuck on your role. It's in your hands.
True.
What have you done? What difference have you made? What impact have you made? If you say, oh, I'm making impact and you've not recognized me, who is stopping you? Who is binding you at that place? Because sometimes we stay in places where we are not valued. Over time, I will become disgruntled, become depressed and all that. Because we are humans, right? It's normal human tendency for us to use people.
I mean,
Yes,
that's what it
very
is,
true.
actually.
Yeah, so, and I say employment is give and take, right? I serve you as an employee, employer, you pay me my salary. Once I deliver excellent value more than my role, you should be able to promote me, maybe add more to me. But if, maybe due to company fund, or due to you don't recognize me, or due to maybe I have a line manager that is covering me and not, shining my lights and taking all all the glory, right? And not pointing that, okay, this person actually doing it. You can actually step out. And that's where the point of personal branding comes in. So if an employee, if as an individual, right, you don't intentionally build a personal brand, so it's not just about having a LinkedIn profile. It doesn't end there. Constantly share content. What do you do? Once you're sharing content of what you do, nobody's holding you back on that one. No employer, no line manager has control of you because it's your personal page, right? People outside are seeing what you're doing. Even people in your organization. So I have a mentee who was telling me last week that, because I taught them my coaching group. I showed them how to optimize their LinkedIn, ideas on what to post as content and all that. So they started posting that. So he started talking about what he's doing, what he has done, things he's interested in his own field. And he told me that his HR director reached out to him on WhatsApp, asking him more about because she read it on his LinkedIn profile. And this is something that he has been doing for years in that workplace. And now she's seeing it because not like they don't see, but like he's not able to tell his story.
It's not about written on the
It's
wall.
not written, no, he's not able to tell his story. Then and now they've asked, okay, this thing that you've implemented in your own region, can you implement it across the business for us now? That's now like an elevation, because once he does that, the next step for him is to move up. So he's able to get that because he's able to show what he's done. So if you are just being, in my corner, I'm doing my own thing, I'm in my office, I'm just delivering my work, they can only know more about you the more what you tell them. So that your online presence is a way of you, advocating for yourself, blowing your own trumpet, right? Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like you to tell us, those skills you think that professionals should start obtaining, those skills that you think professionals should start learning. I mean, you made mention of the fact that the world is evolving, so people should start working with the trends. I mean, back then, I remember this whole HR thing, you have to go learn it at, the university and all. But right now, you just take 2-3 courses. And I want to ask, how effective are these courses as well? Because, it's one thing to go on social media. Once you just click one course, every other thing keeps coming. I'm telling you what I see, right? And you now see them with different months. This one month, you've learned this one. On that 2 months, you've learned this. And the amount sometimes can be very funny sometimes. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'd like you to, tell us what skills you think professionals should start, taking, and how effective are they?
Okay. So depending on the field of endeavor that you want to go into, right? Okay. But basically, everyone should know data analysis. So what I say, basic Microsoft Excel. Let's not go into Power BI or SQL yet. Basic Microsoft Excel, basic Office suite, right? Now to use your PowerPoint, now to use your MS Excel, now to use your MS Word. I see a lot of graduates, when they ask them to type something on Microsoft Word, it's just scattered. They don't know how to align, align what they've written so far. That's something that everybody should learn. I feel once you come out of university, you should know that already. It's unfortunate that they don't teach that in our school, but that's what I said, your growth is in your hands, right? I remember as far back as when I was like in junior secondary school, I used to take my pocket money, go to a cyber cafe, sit down and just learn. I'll just learn how to use the system. So by the time I was already in university, I already knew a lot more than my classmates, right? So it was easy for me to grab, all those things. And it wasn't so. But a lot of people are just relaxed, right? And they don't intentionally put in that effort. So data analysis is one. I said earlier, communication also, listening skills also. We just want to talk and don't listen. But you pick out a lot of things when you listen. And when you listen, you pick out a lot of things. You're able to sense body language. Some people, when they talk, different from what they mean.
Yeah.
So when you're someone that listens, you're able to pick tonation, tone words to know what's... Exactly. Sometimes, I remember when I was younger, I'm sure you have that experience, when you go out with your mom, and someone say, oh, take this. You're looking at your mom. You're saying, yeah, take now.
Try
but her body is saying something,
something
else.
else, yeah.
So if you don't know how to observe and listen, you go and take, and then you at home you now go and
You will take too.
you will take, you will take to her home. But you're observing her and listening to her, and you're knowing, you're understanding her tone, that she's not actually telling you take,
Yeah.
right? Because she's there with her friend. She doesn't want to sound like as if she's stopping you from,
Yeah.
But so when you are able to listen, once you have that listening skill, you're able to read the room, and you're able to understand what's going on. Even in workplace, we say workplace politics, right? It's all these things that matter: communication, listening, being able to read the room, know when you need to keep quiet, know when you need to talk, know when you need to escalate something, but we just take on so many things, and then end up landing ourselves in trouble. So basically that, and then also as the world is going tech, it's also good for us to also grab some tech skills. If you can learn a little bit of simple coding, just because you never know, right? You can't just find yourself in that space where you need to do a little thing, and it must not be so much. I remember one time I had to do something, and it was on Excel. I didn't know how to convert. There was just about dates and on the mail, so I had to go online, learn, and I had to do like a mini coding to get what I wanted. So if I wasn't, that inquisitive, they're trying to learn, I would know. I would just be stuck, and I'll have to now go and pay someone. But I ended up using that VBA macro that was shared online to do it.
All right, I'd like to cut your flow of thoughts there. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll still look through personal branding and how to pivot as a professional. So stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Life is made up of moments, some that lift us, others that break us. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we explore the beauty, the heartbreaks, and the incredible strength that every relationship brings into our lives. Friendship, marriages, partnerships, and everything in between.
Yes, say yes.
All the connections that shapes who we are today. Every week, we dive into the stories that define us. Stories of love, loss, heartbreaks, and healing. Real life stories from real people, just like you and I. Heartlines is where emotions meet understanding, and where we learn that we're never truly alone. Join me Mondays through Fridays at 9:30 p.m. for Heartlines, where we'll connect with every heart, one story at a time.
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for staying with us. This is Ways Breakfast. Today is Friday, and we're discussing career growth in a digital world. We've been joined by an expert, and so far we've learned a little bit about personal branding, how that your growth is actually in your hands. We've learned about communication skills, and I'd like to take this conversation a bit further. So we are in a world, because of the ever evolving trends, we hear people tell you, oh, learn this, learn that. So it seems as though when someone is just leaving school, there are a lot of things you want to learn at once. I feel like people who are young adults have a focus problem in this world that we're in, because everybody wants to just learn something that can make me the next $1,000. I mean, I have to live up to my standards, or the standard that I am eyeing in that sense. So there's the pressure of wanting to learn many things at once. So even when somebody has found a profession that is working, or something that catches their interest or their passion, they still feel a bit uncomfortable because they don't know the eventuality of that, like how far it's going to take them. So a lot of people are learning different things. Sometimes things that are so far away from what they're doing. But then there's another school of thought that would encourage that in that sense, that of course you're young, explore, learn different things, don't be caught in one place. You've even told us now that your branding is in your hands, your personal growth is in your hands. But so I want you to actually give us an advice or make it a bit clearer and provide that balance for us, for young people who are just starting out in their career and want to grow. What's that point of changing? Like, how can they apply focus even whilst exploring different opportunities? I hope you get my question.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I encourage everyone to have a personal career plan.
Okay.
Not just career, right? Your life plan, and because everything affects everything. Family affects your career. You know, career affects your finance and a lot of things. If every one coming out of school, and there's a lot of gap at that point when we're leaving school. Is a lot is still not taught, right, at that point. And that's why they come out and they're trying to grapple, and the societal pressure. You already see your mates that when some already say online, they say, "Oh, I just made my first $10,000."
LinkedIn is not helping people with
LinkedIn is not helping matters at all, right? Yeah. So when you have your personal plan, right, you know what you want, where you're going to, or you have the dream that you have that you want to see for yourself, probably like a next 5-10 years, for example. You break that down into 1 year, 2 years, 3 years plan, and depending on whatever direction that you want, that's if it kind of like guides you, right? I would say it's also good to pick up things along the way, right? Learn some skills that are added, but not totally veer off. Except maybe you have the direction, to veer off, to now go to make it, a total switch. But I'd say try and focus on one thing. So different people are different. Me personally, I focus on one thing at a time, right? So at least it's because for personal brand you have to know for a thing. It's known for a thing. So per time, right, or per phase of your life, what do you want to know? What do you want to be known for at that phase of your life? That should guide you. Not just know when someone looks at you and they're wondering, who are you? What are you? So people should be able to understand where you're going to. So when they see opportunities for you, they're able to know where to fit you into. And I know we have that there's that pressure of wanting to make that money, but like we need to calm. The money will eventually come. I always tell us that money will eventually come as long as you continue building yourself, investing in yourself, because you're your greatest achievement, your greatest investment. As long as you continue investing in yourself, developing your skills, If there are things you pick up along the way, maybe along the way I learned business analysis. Along the way I learned, maybe a little SQL. I learned, it all adds up to my goal, because for me to end up becoming a HR business leader, I need to be able to know a little bit of those things, So you need to just find the mix, right? People are different though, but try to be able to focus so that people can actually know who you are, what you are for, per time, per phase of your life. I know once you come out of school, you're young, you're vibrant, you want to learn, but in that learning a lot of things at the same time, you can miss out, your time for you to grow. Because you're just dabbling, you're not focusing to become an expert in one thing, because so once you focus on one thing, you can always learn the other things, right? Focus on one thing, grow yourself in that, become an expert, look for mentors, coaches that can guide you to become better. Sometimes you don't need to spend 3, 4, 5 years learning something if you have a coach or mentor that's gone through that phase, because you will learn from the experience. You learn from the experience, and that's what many people don't want to do. They don't want to get coaches. They don't want to submit to accountability, and they end up suffering that, because you not end up making mistakes that you should have avoided. Because if it's just like someone that is so it's just like someone that you're just starting life. For example, you're a young woman, right? just their life. You're trying to see if you can, how you can merge career, and you want to also get married, and you want to marriage and all that, and you think you can just run it on your own, and you don't reach out to coaches or mentors. It can even be your own mother. But a lot of us don't want to be accountable to people, and then we suffer that you make your mistakes, which you should have avoided, because you learn on somebody's experience.
So I'd like to talk about the future of this entire thing. Before, education is the key. But like they say right now, the padlock has been changed. Education is no longer the key. So to convince an average youth right now or a teenager to go to school to study a particular course, and then, okay, when you leave, you can work at the airport, you can work at this.
Aeronautic engineer.
It sounds so unreal. People are just doing, okay, let me just have the BSc, let me just have the BA Ed or something. No one actually believes in the thing. And now looking at the future of the professional landscape, things are changing. We now have virtual assistants, we now have HR professional, we now have data analysts. It doesn't used to be like that any time past. So now, looking at the future of the professional landscape, what are those skills or proper educations that every normal person should have? Also, let's relate it to your own field. If I intend to be an HR professional today, what are those skills? What are those particular things that I should possess? I don't want to be testing the waters. Okay, let me get this skill. Let me get this one too. What are those exact ones that I need to have? Yes, please.
Okay, so if you want to get into human resources, for example, and you're trying to look for the course to study, I know quite a number of us in HR right now, we didn't study anything social sciences. Most of us are majorly science, or the science students. Most of us are majorly science students, right? But if you want to, let's say you're trying to get into school, trying to decide on the course to study, so there are courses like sociology, psychology. There is human resources now in schools, interpersonal, industrial relations. They're now courses now in school like that. So sociology, psychology, basically the social sciences, right, and around that. And really anything you read, because sometimes, as I said, that knowledge is not a waste at the end of the day. Okay, so I read Aguocha-Ikenna as my first degree. I got into HR. Now, at this point in my career, I'm helping a family member set up his agricultural farm based on my experience of what I read. So it's not a waste in the long run. If I decide today, I'm tired of HR, I want to go and start up my farm. I read it for 5 years. I did the practicals. I still remember, everything that I was taught. So, no knowledge really is a waste as long as it's something you have interest in, right? Because there's no course in school that is a waste. Even if you read theatre arts, you can always still use it to pivot into any other thing you're doing. If you read law, you can pivot into any field you want. Even if you read engineering, there are a lot of engineers in human resources now. A lot of engineers in human resources now. So, but that still doesn't stop them from, if they see an issue to tackle, probably if a little consulting here or there, they still make use of their engineering knowledge. Though they may not practice, but they still make use of it. So, if you want to do human resources, aside from reading whatever course you want to read, you need to also undergo your CIPM. That's Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. That's the body for human resources professionals here in Nigeria. You can also decide to take up, the foreign certifications also if you want to, if you have the funds. And then basically join communities. I always say it's important to look for communities for your field and join communities because there's a lot to learn in communities. You learn real life experience communities. Because a lot of communities that I belong in, someone comes and drops their real life work issue that they're dealing with, and then we are tackling it, advising the person. The person goes, I went to say this, so this it's like they're coming to, when you have that place where you always come to for advice, I run back and then implement it. So join your communities. So many of us don't belong in communities, but those communities help because you're also learning. Every day I learned something new from the community that I belong to. I learned how to manage, how not to manage, or what to do. Because people can share something that you've never encountered. You know, and you just learn because you never know what you encounter in your next workplace or what you encounter. Because the workplace, when you have a gathering of people, you would always have dynamic of issues coming up. So once you're able to learn from communities, right, that will also help you grow your knowledge fast, you know, so you can be able to compete. Because that's the issue with a lot of people. You see someone 15 years on the job, and you see someone that is just 7 years. The person knows a lot more than the 15 years person. Why? Because he had exposed himself to knowledge, he had exposed himself to mentorship, he had exposed himself to community, so he's always learning. Meanwhile, the other person that's 15 is just stuck in what he or she has known over the course of time.
Okay, so still on career growth, right? Career growth for professionals in the digital world. Now, you've made mention of a few things that can help professionals, and I want you to expatiate on them. Now, speaking about mentorship, I feel like I've really not had that whole mentorship vibes, and I really don't know why. Probably because I've not seen somebody very close to my field or something. So I want you to walk us around that. Then when you talk about this whole community thing, are you talking about like the physical community or online community? So I get it. Then how can we, like, what other things do you think professionals should also involve in order for their career to, you know, grow rapidly and well?
Okay, so mentorship, there are 12 areas of life. There's your career, your finance, your health, relationship. But then there are 12 areas. I can share with you the 12 areas of life. Okay. So depending on, you know, the area, sometimes we have it all good in most areas, and then we're struggling in one. For example, maybe in your family, relationship, or career, or business, for example. Depending on the area you're struggling, the area that you want to get better, or by the time you draw up your personal plan, you draw up your SWOT, that's your strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Everyone needs to have a personal SWOT analysis of yourself. Once you've done that, you're able to know the areas where you have weaknesses as, and areas that are like threats to you, that if you don't deal with this, it can be an issue for you, right? So you need to look for mentors around that circle that can be all. So personally, I have mentors for different areas of life, right? I don't just have one mentor, because, you know, I can be going through a phase of life that the person has not gone through. You can't really guide me through that. So I need to look for someone that's maybe reading through the person's experience, the person can be able to relate. Well, and also as a female, I also have male mentors, because sometimes dealing with the male folk at work, or dealing with my husband issue, also I may not know what to do. But if I have a male mentor, this is what's happening, what can I do? He will advise from a male perspective than me going to meet, you know, a female, right? So understanding the areas where you struggle with, or where you need help, or where you want to become better in, right? Or areas that you feel can pose a problem to you in the future if you don't take care of it now. Identify a mentor. It must not be someone that you know physically, right? It can be someone that, you know, you are just saying online. And how do you don't just say, oh, please be my mentor. I thought there are ways, there are ways to get people to mentor you, right? Attend their programs, engage with them on social media. You know, once there are names that engage me constantly on social media, I know the names. When they send me messages, I'm quick to respond, because they are feeling like families, because, you know, they're always engaging on my posts, right? So once they send me messages, I'm quick to respond to them, you know, because they're familiar to me already. There are people that attend my programs like constantly. There are people that, you know, they are constantly, you know, engaging. So those are ways to become people to get people to, because mentors also, they're also wary of taking up people as mentees, because there are people that just want to latch on to, you know, to your profile, latch on to you just to, you know, build their own self up, you know. So they're also wary of being, because mentorship involves vulnerability, because I will share some personal things about me, and I will expect that, okay, what I share is kept between us. So they're also very wary about that. So you need to be able to engage with them, you know, get into their own community, so they can also take you up as mentees also. So
and for the communities?
For communities also, So aside from your professional bodies, right, attending their programs, conferences, from there you build your network. There are also online communities, like in Human Resources now, for example, we have a lot of communities. So we have a lot of senior leaders in HR that have their own community. So we belong to those communities. So I also have my own community as well. So where, we just come together, we share job vacancies available, we coach them on different things, we have webinar sessions where we teach them, constantly engaging them. And then once in a while, I'll probably host a physical, all meet ourselves physically, right? And these communities have people spread across the world. So you're learning about not just Nigeria, but about what's going on in the outside of your space. Yeah.
All right, we'll be wrapping up soon, but I want you to end on this note. You spoke about personal branding, and you mentioned that branding is about actually putting yourself out, and it's your space. Your LinkedIn profile is not what your line manager will be monitoring, so you can do great things there. But what are some mistakes that we should avoid when it comes to personal branding? I want you to just touch on it very quickly as we begin to wrap up shortly.
Okay, I would say, so a lot of people think that personal branding is just for extroverts.
Okay.
And those that are introverts just shy away from it because they say, oh, I don't want to put myself out there and all that. I'm also an introvert, but, but when you realize that, when you start seeing people that, you're better off getting roles that you should have gotten just because they are out there and you're not,
you wake up.
You wake up.
Yeah. Actually. You wake up.
So mistakes people make is that, believing that it's just for extroverts, it's for everyone. Believing that it's just having a LinkedIn profile. You need to have an optimized LinkedIn profile. You need to be able to not just leaving it bare, and then you need to be able to constantly put out content. And people just posting anything. You don't just post anything. You need to think about what image do I want to project. 1, what do I want people to think about me? 2, what message do I want to pass? 3. So most times I take the mode of what will I wish my younger self knew? And, and I write. Or let's say if I'm called to speak to younger professionals, what will I say to them typically? And I write. So many people just write
So
anything.
you say even when you're not an expert per se, you can still take up the role of somebody who is seeing
Because for
themselves.
every level of knowledge you have, there are people that don't have that yet.
I agree.
So you must not get to that point of expert for you to start putting yourself out there. Because for every knowledge that you have, there are people that are still in university that have not gotten there. And they still need guidance. So the more if we can embrace that idea of sharing knowledge constantly, we would make the change that we want to see. Because people would come out from school better prepared. We would have more graduates better prepared for the work. Because we say, oh, the graduates are not employable, they are this, that. Because, so what are you doing to make them employable? What are you doing to contribute to making them better for the workplace? So when you're constantly putting out your experience, what you've learned, how you've gone, mistakes you've done, how to avoid it, without it.
All right, this has been very insightful.
Yeah, it
And this
has.
is where we wrap up the show. So we have an assignment here to go and build your personal brand and do it excellently well. Thank you for staying with us from Monday till today, Friday. It's still the new month, so enjoy today very well. Ensure you rest. It's the weekend, and we'll catch you again on Monday by 8 a.m. Bye.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?